All right. Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast from Little Dagger Aesthetics called Unfiltered Tea Time. If you don't know because you haven't watched or listened to the first episode, first of all, what the hell? Go fucking listen to it because that's really rude and you're banned. Not really, but do your homework. They taught you that in school. Anyways, it is completely unfiltered, unedited. Names are taken out for personal privacy reasons if needed, but otherwise, it's just us chilling, us talking, and being completely unbothered by the fact that we could suddenly go viral and get a bunch of haters for no reason, and people could hate us for our opinions or whatnot. Just a normal Tuesday, what all the TikTok users go through. So my name's Michelle Jacques. I am the owner of Little Dagger Aesthetics. I go by the pronouns she, they. I remembered that this time, which is nice because I did not remember last time and I was the least woke. I need a new word. Least inclusive. I don't know. Today I am joined by, again, my episode 1 guest. They have the highest priority, and they are Siren, Mikan, and Mari, and they're here to discuss sad times, aka the quarantine. So first thoughts, no, first word that comes to mind when I say quarantine, go.
Depression.
Sad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say a swear word, but I decided to filter myself. Use your imagination.
I mean, you could have. Just say it.
I'm not the type who uses swear words just out of habit. I don't know. You
Say
can use
the
your
word.
imagination.
Say
Fuck.
a word that rhymes with it.
Bitch.
I actually had to think about that. Oh my lord. Anyways, I'm bringing that back. It's my little aesthetic thing. If anyone that listens to this follows Wigs and Tea on Instagram, I am literally the biggest fan of them. And the only reason why I say anyways now is because they keep on spelling it like that in their stories. And I don't know, it just kind of caught on, and it really should not have caught on, but that's okay. We got almost the same layout. This one's about quarantine, like I just said. We have 3 questions, and then we have a list of quarantine activities to go through. So, without a further ado, is that the saying? Probably. I don't speak English. The first question is, how has your outlook on quarantine changed since March 2020? And this is open to anyone. If you would like to jump in, tell me your outlook, all that.
So, I was that person that we live in Canada, and I think it was around March 19th. I actually don't remember the specific date. But we were told we were going to be in lockdown for 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, wonderful. 2-week break. That's fantastic, right? It's almost the end of the semester. I'm swamped with, research papers, exams, whatever. 2 weeks off. Lovely. Who wouldn't like that, right? And here we are. A year and almost a half later. And so it was a very naive perspective, right? Especially since the fact was people were dying, right? And I was thinking of it as like a break. And then when the 2 weeks were extended, I was like, why? Like the numbers are so low. Again, very naive, very ignorant perspective. Obviously, I'm much more educated now. So how my outlook of it changed, I'm realizing the reality of what it is. It's not something to be trifled with. It's not something to take lightly at all. You gotta, you really gotta take this thing seriously, man. And I learned that the hard way.
To be fair, I definitely in the beginning, I don't know what it was. I guess it's because no one was talking about it and using the word pandemic or talking about how serious it was. It was like all I heard was a kid ate a bat, so people have to stay in their homes for like 2 weeks. That's literally it. There was no information, and I was just like, oh, that's a little weird, I guess. And like, no one told me that people were dying. Literally no one until like a week in. And then I realized why we were doing it. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, that's terrible. I'm like, why were we making memes about this shit? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, and I kind of agree on what like Siren was bringing there because at the beginning you're kind of like end exam season and our professors were like, well crap, we need to put everything online now. And then they're like, oh, the students are rushed, which is like we were in crunch time and we were kind of panicking with all its changes. So they put in like the pass or fail system, so you can like choose the classes. Anyways, complicated system. Um, but yeah, and for me at the time, I was like happy to see that they were at least implementing and understanding that people, students, people in general, were kind of struggling with all these changes that were coming so quick. But I was happy because, like Siren mentioned, it was like a 2 week break at the time. And then obviously, as time went on, the reality kind of sunk in of what was happening. And as more information was coming out, it didn't turn out so well, and it's still not turning out so well. But I mean, I'm an optimist, so I'm hoping for the best in the future. But
Yeah, I guess jumping off of that, it's been sort of like up and down, like a lot of up and down, at least for me personally. But I guess for the most part, I'm just generally feeling kind of stuck because everyone else is stuck, but it's kind of less, I guess. It's weird. It's like everyone else is supposedly in the same situation kind of thing. So it's I don't know, I guess not as bad because you're not alone in that sense. Um, but I don't know, when you first kind of, I don't know, it's been feeling kind of hopeless, but the sort of, now that vaccines are rolling out, there's a little glimmer, a little light in the distance of some kind of hope. So I've been kind of looking to that, and that's been helping a lot recently.
I fully agree with you
Definitely
there.
valid. Yeah, 100% valid. I have been just reading articles on other countries that are COVID free, and I'm like, hopefully that's me soon.
Oh, I can't wait.
Why couldn't we be New Zealand?
Honestly, that is what it is. I was at my training session for work a couple days ago, and the one person that was training me kept on saying like, I'm just gonna go back to New Zealand. It was nice there. I liked being there. I liked being able to do what I wanted to do. And they got rid of COVID, and I was like, wow, why did you leave? And he's like, you tell me. And I was like, I'd want to leave here so bad. And now it's like, it's not even I can't leave because of like financial reasons or job reasons, whatever. There's literally a pandemic that is just like, LOL, you had dreams, chill. Big sad times.
That seemed to be the theme too, right? Like I knew multiple people that were like getting their life together, or at least they had things kind of falling into place where they wanted to. And then it hit, and it created such a halt on everyone's lives and their plans and their goals. And it seems so strange, like, all these people, everything's kind of working right for them, and then here we are, millions of lives gone later.
Yeah. Oh, wow, this is kind of solemn.
I told this is gonna be a very sad podcast.
I mean, yeah, you did say it was going to be a sad episode, so.
We'll have some comedic relief in between. I don't know what it'll be, but there will be some sounding like a person with a plan. All right. Let's go on to question 2, and it is, what are some things you've noticed have changed about yourself during quarantine?
Oh my god, my anxiety. I that's literally what's been changed the most. So I've always I like to think I'm a pretty okay person, like in regards to my mental health. Like, could do a little bit better, but at the very least, I'm doing okay. But as quarantine has gone longer, I am a very social person. I need to be around people to get the fullness that is my life. I need to be around people, and as time has gone on, and you know days turn to weeks, turn to months, being inside by myself, I've noticed my anxiety has really increased. And my mind tends to race a lot because I don't have my schoolwork to distract me anymore. I don't have people to distract me anymore. So I'm constantly in this you know vicious cycle of just thinking. Like I'm it's just me and my mind. Like I'm always thinking, and I'm always like worrying about what's gonna happen next, right? So I've found that my anxiety has shot through the roof. I'm probably not the only one in that regard. I know mental health has seriously
Definitely
taken.
not the only one.
Yeah, I like see it, like either stats can come on, like you like there's millions of people who are experiencing extreme mental health crises because of quarantine, and it already an already bad system has gotten even worse, and it's showing because of the pandemic. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah. Oh man, I definitely noticed a change in my mental health, which is already terrible. I'm gonna have to put a trigger warning on this episode. Like, for anyone that's listening, this is my trigger warning before I write in the description. Mental health discussion, mention of not so great thoughts. um, because I definitely, like, I have been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and borderline personality disorder. That is nothing new, but the way that I managed myself for the past couple of years was anytime I started to feel more down than usual, or there was an increase of suicidal thoughts in my head, I would talk to someone, and I would be able to pop into my counselor or therapist office and just say, "Hey, I know we don't have a session, but can you talk for 10 minutes and then let's book a session or something?" And now I don't have that ability, and I am a person that goes through emotions very quickly. And I feel like I've lost my ability to do that. And it's mainly because I don't have a place to ask for the help that works for me. Because it's important to note that there is help out there, there are resources, definitely not enough for how much we need. But there are resources, and none of them have so far been things that worked for me. So my anxiety has skyrocketed. I cry over everything, and I don't even know what's going on half the time. I was leaving the house today, and my boyfriend said, "Have a good day." And my response was, "That's so much pressure." And I was like about to cry. So he said, "Okay, have an okay day." And I was like, "Thanks." So things have definitely changed, and oh, it's good and bad.
Yeah.
I'll hop in on this beautiful emotional train. Um, so I don't know. For me personally, it's been ups and downs. So like we mentioned before, at the beginning, it was an up. And then since I was graduating and shifting towards the workforce, um, the only time I actually went to like the office was for the interview, and that's it. I have really no idea what the actual building looks like. And just kind of missing that social interaction you have between work that kind of alleviates your stress. Like when you meet your coworkers like in the bathroom randomly or going to get coffee, those type of moments that like brought you just a bit of more life while you worked. And now because we're teleworking, we're missing those moments unless it's like scheduled and stuff. Anyways. But yeah, like for me personally, like my mental health has been up and down. I had times where I was so motivated, I would like, I actually motivated myself enough to actually do a workout, which I haven't done in like 4 or 5 years plus. So that's a lot of motivation that went there. But then I had weeks where I was just so down on myself, I would just stay in my bed for like a day off and on and just have all these thoughts in my head that told me, don't get up, you can't get up, you don't want to get up. And all these like thoughts that would just circle, and I'm sure everybody has felt it. But there's always the positives where, like, for example, we have the charity one that we're participating in. I ran 2 kilometers today, so that was awesome, and I was dead when I got back in. So it's ups and downs. It's just more intense because, like you said, we don't have the same social resources we would usually have.
On that note, I will also just plug real quick. We are doing the Million Reasons Run. It is a great initiative. It was brought up by one of our other friends in our Discord server, who's a great person. And I'm gonna plug everyone's individual links as well as the team link into the description of this video. And honestly, so proud of you for starting today, because I deadass was gonna start today and then I said LOL no because I don't want to. But I will soon, hopefully.
We all have our days where we feel like actually starting. Today I just had just enough motivation because I've been lazy.
Running is another form of torture, so 2 kilometers is...
Agreed.
I agree. I agree. But oh yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't know, I was just gonna say that's amazing. Great job.
Absolutely. I was gonna on the back to the question, maybe bring this into a little bit more of a positive shift because I know myself personally, I have learned a lot over the past year about being like a white woman myself. I've learned about like the struggles people of other races, ethnicities, identities kind of go through. And I've learned about my own privilege, and I've become, I guess, a lot more active and informed than I was. And I think that's the biggest change that I've sort of experienced during this whole year of things happening. And I think that's a good thing because it's always good to be informed, and it's always good to like sort of know what you're talking about and how you can use the resources and the privilege that you have to help other people.
You know what? I like that a lot. I am personally, you guys know, I'm like activist 101. I'm always out there with marches and petitions and all that. But I definitely relate to that too. I don't think that there is a lot of self like looking into and self-reflection by people who are minorities. Because like don't get me wrong, I love my minority people, I love my people of color, we cool, we styling, but I know so many people that are minorities that will say white people are the only people that have privilege, and I'm like, white people have the most privilege. There's no doubt about that. But certain minorities also have more privilege than others. So even though I knew that before, I never took the time to actually break it down. and everything that happened during quarantine, especially the Black Lives Matter movement, like hitting a peak, really made me think. So I definitely relate to that. I was thinking, and I was like, I faced racism, I faced harassment, being Asian, being a woman, but at the same time, like, I'm cisgendered. I don't face what a Black person, not even a Black woman, a Black person would face. Um and people of darker skin tones than myself, even, because I'm like kind of tan. I don't know, but I'm not like super dark, and people that have darker skin tones than me face a lot more oppression, a lot more harassment, a lot more prejudice, and it sucks. It fucking sucks. And like, the more I started to realize that, the more I was like, okay, I'm more aware, but also I'm just more sad, and then I'm more mad. Like, ugh.
No, you're completely right. And the thing is, like, all of us in here, I know we're all able-bodied, right? Like, you take for granted, like, the fact that you can move around in spaces that disabled people can't. Like, when the place doesn't have a ramp, that it doesn't affect us, right? And it's really true. It's true. Yes, minorities experience less privilege, but there are so many more isms than that. There's sexism, there's ableism, classism, right? It's a large spectrum, and
A lot
at
of
the end of the
facets
day,
to it.
yes, at the end of the day, you have to be aware of these things, right? Or else you will go your whole life stepping on other people's struggles and not even realizing you're doing it.
That is one of the biggest things too, is that when you're not even aware, because there are two different types of people, where it's like, either you're unaware and you learn, or you're aware and you just don't care. And it's like, if you're unaware, I will excuse you for like a minute. Not for being racist, because like, but like, if you're mildly in the wrong, and you're being like, you have microaggressions that you've picked up because you lived a certain way or you grew up a certain way. If the first time you say it and I'm like, hey, what the fuck? And then you're like, wait, like, why is that wrong? And you ask to be educated, 100%, you're okay. Apologize, be educated, don't do it again, grow as a person, amazing. It's just people that are like, I grew up in a racist household and I will continue to be racist, and I don't care. And I'm like, good God,
Nope.
please stop.
Get out of
Like,
here.
honestly.
No, that's
Yeet
completely
them
ridiculous.
off the earth.
Honestly, like obviously they're, like, for example, with my family, they got the nice big three. They're racist, sexist, and homophobic, right? But obviously that doesn't mean you can't change. And the thing is, there are people out there that, despite, being socially or social media adept, right, and are aware of these social problems, they still go around and they're like, if someone tells them, hey, this thing you said it has some kind of ism to it, and they're like, and they try to defend themselves, like, why would you do that? Just take the fucking L. Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn.
It's unfiltered.
Listen,
I love it.
it's true. I'm sorry.
And then they
Like,
get mad at you for like trying to
just say thank you.
even
Thank
to
you
just
for,
calmly explain, and then they start yelling at you. It's
exactly. Just say thank you for educating me. I will try and take this information forward and not make the same mistake. Like, it's
I don't
really not that
understand.
hard, man.
People are so opposed to like learning something new and maybe hearing another opinion. Why? It's just like, oh my God, I don't know. I'm gonna get like too heated on this.
No, but I think that it really does fall hand in hand with this pandemic, right? This pandemic has heightened. It hasn't caused problem. It's bringing to light the problems that have already existed.
A lot
Yeah.
of people showing their true colors.
The cracks that already exist are becoming deeper, and the foundation's crumbling. That's essentially what's happening. That's what this pandemic has done. It's shown the light of how absolutely atrocious our societal norms are.
Yeah. No, for sure. Especially, like, again, with the peak of the Black Lives Matter movement, I've heard so many things, on the street when I'm walking to work or whatnot, like people just saying that it doesn't matter, or, oh, they're making a big deal out of it, comments like that. And that shit pisses me off because I'm just like, yeah, what? Like, this is people that are being oppressed based on something they cannot control, which is the main thing that gets me about it, right? Where it's like, it's not like someone is doing something wrong and they can change it, but they refuse to, so like they're being oppressed. It's literally the opposite. People that can change what they're doing are oppressing people that can't change something about themselves and shouldn't, because there's nothing wrong with it. Like, oh my god. And also, like, with the what is it, Stop Asian Hate, I cannot tell you how many friends have texted me and said, like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, oh no, like, this is something I've dealt with my whole life. And they will say, really? Like, people were racist to you before? And I'm just like, I like, racism isn't something new. It's not like the COVID happened and people were all of a sudden like, oh, Asian people are this or that. No. This is just a new, like, so-called reason for them to come at us. Like, this is just another invalid reason for them to be like, must call this girl a slur. And it's like, what?
It's really stupid as well, because people are like, oh, it ended in the 60s or something, and then it's like, only when it gets talked about by a lot of people all at once at the same time is when people are like, oh, this is a thing that exists again, that didn't exist before, not gonna exist after, or like it exists for one group of people and not another. Yeah, it's like, no, these things are not like exclusive to one group or one time period or something. It's been going on for many hundreds of years to so many different kinds of people, and like, I don't know, people just need to wake up and oh, I don't know where I'm going. I'm getting
No,
mad.
you're absolutely right, because like, I'm sorry, Mikan. Or you're gonna have to edit that. Mikan, I saw you. I wanted to unmute, and because I've been talking too much, but go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna agree with everything. I'm letting you guys carry a conversation. You're saying everything. I don't need to say anything.
Yeah. I was
You
just
know
gonna
what?
say.
Valid.
Sorry. Yeah. I was just gonna say, 'cause the thing is, like you said, it's already terrible issues that are going on that are becoming more aware. I obviously, one of my ways to cope with the quarantine, I go on walks. I have a friend who lives in the neighborhood, so I go on walks with her. Many times we'll be walking down the main road that leads to our neighborhood, and we'll have like cars honk at us, stare at us, stop, like slow down, and like, it's disgusting. Obviously, this is again another whole other topic. Disgusting behavior. And I remember ranting about this to my friend, and he said, "Oh, that happens? I thought that only happens in the movies." I'm like, are you, like, come on, man. Come on, man. Like, are you serious? Like, of course it happens. If sexual assault and harassment exists, where do you think it starts from? Like, it's these microaggressions that occur, It's, I guess, trigger warning for mentioning sexual assault. Sorry, I feel like I'm apologizing a lot for this podcast. But yeah, like, it's just it really just shows how disconnected we are from real life problems.
I mean, if that's one outside of the quarantine / pandemic / Panasonic, is that we are growing as people, and even though we were honestly, like, we're not bad people, but like, it just shows even good people have room for growth, and we're doing it, and we're growing, and it's gonna be good. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, no one has to be no one can be perfect. That's unattainable. Perfection, I don't believe perfection exists. All you can do is learn and educate yourself on new topics, new situations, whatever they may be. Take that information and change your behavior and grow going forward. That's all you can do, is try to be a better person every day.
Mhm. All right. With that, I'm gonna move to the third question. I'm just channeling my inner ex-roommate and singing everything apparently today. Love you. If you're listening to this, girl, I see you. The third question is, if we were brought back to the beginning of quarantine with the knowledge of how this one went, what would you do differently?
I have a rant that I want to start with. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you, Siren, but I will start with my rant.
Rant.
But yeah, as I said, I was going from graduation to the workforce, expecting that I would have a full workforce experience. But if I could go back in time, I'm taking that semester off. I'm going on vacation. I'm doing what I want for once before I actually enter the hellhole known as full-time jobs. So like, I don't know, I would just want to experience everything I could one more time before COVID hits. And low key, tell people, please be responsible. And I'm gonna start a whole ass campaign to make sure that everybody knows what's going on and what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna hit up New Zealand. That's it. I'm gonna just call them.
We love it.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, my views about quarantine and the pandemic were very ignorant. But like obviously changing how I viewed it would be number one. Other than that, I don't even know, because like the problem is that, at least in regards to my own life, it's really it's a little bit harder to like get around, do the things that I want. But I don't know, what would I change? You know what? I think I would go and message everyone and all the people I love and just be like, you know what, this shit's gonna be hard, but we're gonna do things. We're gonna be able to do things. Also, you know what I would do? I'd tell you to make this Discord server a lot sooner.
Okay, that's kind of what I was gonna go off of too. I was gonna say, like, I would have tried to connect more with people and talk to, even if they weren't people I regularly talked to, I would try and make that effort a little more, because I don't know, it's especially during the summer and the fall, that would have really helped, because I have the Discord server and I've been doing a lot better since then, because there's always kind of someone available to just have a casual conversation, and so I don't feel so alone.
Valid. Also, on a side other tangent, I would like to say on, I suppose, a cringeworthy note, I am very happy that I've met so many people over Discord, so many new friends. It's made me really happy, and I like talking with everybody, whether it's Chad or VC and all the games we play. Like, you all know I'm very much the core of a hermit introvert, but I still enjoy making those choice close friends that I just love to speak to, even though my brain will probably go blank after a while just because of social fatigue. But yeah, it's probably the highlight of 2020 that I got to meet so many good people.
I'm glad we're
That's so
friends.
sweet. It gives me a cavity. If
No, I
anyone
definitely agree.
listening knows where that quote is from, comment it, because it's quality. I'm very happy that you got to meet people though, and honestly, like, I did too. I got to connect with people, which is like a normal thing for me because I am very extroverted. For anyone listening that doesn't know this, I introduce myself to almost everyone as the most extroverted person you will ever meet in your life, because I am literally like, in social situations, I am the Energizer Bunny on crack. I am just wilding out 24/7, and there's no going away. But yeah, I did like that. I think, honestly, I've been thinking about it while you guys were talking about like what you would do differently, and I have two things. So my problems are like, they're valid, I know that, but like compared to a lot of the stuff that people have in the world, which is me immediately invalidating them, it's not like a big deal. But like, for sure, one, before the pandemic was going to happen, okay, I was about to be promoted, okay? I was about to be promoted, and the reason why I had not gone through my training yet at work to become a supervisor was because the first time I was asked if I wanted to be a supervisor, I said I could not do it, which is dumb because I'm good at working. I can do anything, okay? So like, if I could go back, I would just say yes earlier, because then by the time the pandemic happened, my company that I was with would have kept me working for when they were open. Like, my boyfriend was a supervisor and he still got to work full time most days, and it did kind of suck. There were downsides to it, but he had income, and all I had was Serb, and then Serb screwed me a couple of times because they just like didn't pay me 4 times. And then by the time that was over and I had to owe my tax this year, I owe $1,300 to the government, and I have $62 in my bank account. So like, oh, system work. But I would have liked to have other income so that I could pay back these taxes that honestly I should not even owe. Okay, there should be a tax exemption for people that are making under X amount of dollars, because I'm pretty sure my income right now is like $10,000 a year, which is not good. But aside from that, I also would change the fact that I feel like before I was already pretty emotionally mature, but I've reached a new level of that because I went through a phase where I was just like messaging people from my past and being like, either, hey, you were kind of a dick, but I'm also sorry about whatever I did. We don't have to be friends, but I just want to put it out there, clean slate, blah, blah, blah. And then to other people, I was like, hey, you were a dick. That's it. But I wish I did that earlier. I definitely had to get into the right mindset for it, but I feel like I should have just pushed myself to do it earlier, because then that's also what motivated me to connect with good people, and that's also kind of where the Discord server came from. And it's like, I could have just fast tracked that shit. I could have just been so emotionally healthy so much quicker.
No, you know what? I like to think, and you know what? I have 2 points. First of all, I know the question is what we would change, but I do hope like, you're in regards to your financial situation. It's not your fault. It's the government's fault. Any chance I can get, I will rip on the government. But they didn't really handle most aspects of this pandemic well. But also, you know what? I think the fact that we were able to eventually have this server, is amazing. Like Mari has mentioned before, it's what's keeping me afloat. It's what's keeping, I think, lots of people afloat. I like Michelle. I am also very extroverted, so not being around people has taken a major toll. But this server has definitely helped in many, many ways. So I'm very grateful for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna take a minute to like encourage whoever is listening to this to make a Discord server, gather your friends, post about it,
or join a random one.
Yeah, honestly, like if people want to start like joining my server, I might even make like a second one that's just going to be like international, and it's literally just good people. Like just get involved somewhere. If the area that you're in permits you to, take a walk with a friend, you know? Obviously, keep your bubble very, very small and make sure that you know who people are hanging out with. But especially if you live alone or the rest of your family, if you live with a family, doesn't go out and you want to take a walk once a week with a friend who lives alone, do it. Because, like, you know, we're not out here to risk the whole world, but your mental health is going to suffer much longer than the actual pandemic, no matter how long the pandemic lasts. Your mental health is going to be in the shit turbines for like years. So just like do everything you can for it. Go on a walk, grab a cup of coffee from a local place because we're all about supporting local. You know, just I don't know, go to a park and plant a tree if that's legal, which I feel like it shouldn't be illegal, but it is in some areas. But if it's legal in your area, plant a tree, help the environment. I don't know, just change your
Save the
search
planet.
engine to Ecosia. We're not sponsored by them, but they're a pretty good place, so just make that switch.
If you use plastic water bottles, change and get a metallic one or aluminum. What are these made of? I actually don't know.
Metal.
Yeah,
Just a reusable one.
a reusable bottle, man. Just it's not that hard.
Palatary.
It's also cheaper.
Yeah.
The water tastes better.
It makes you feel better. It helps the environment. It's just all around good.
I love how we went from like what we would do in quarantine to save the environment, which I'm all for. Hello,
You know what?
nature queen here.
I appreciate the activism that has occurred through many of us, and I think it's just good. It's good things to implement into your life, man. Even if you just care about one cause, you know, dedicate your life to it.
Yeah.
You really can't like spread yourself too thin trying to do everything. Like there are people who are gonna be able to focus on this sort of situation, so you can put your energies towards something else while still caring.
Exactly. I think people can balance at least 2 to 3 major causes in their life without spreading themselves too thin. Like for myself, my major one is mental health. I am a psychology major, obviously. I have to care about mental health. And then after that, the environment and women's rights, because those are the most important to me. Not to say anything else isn't as important, but those to me are my major causes that I try to work towards helping every single day.
Yeah. All right. With that, because we're running a little low on time, we're not doing too bad though. I was gonna say we're not doing too good. We're not doing too bad.
I mean, fair though.
Yeah. But I do want to go through this list. So this is a random list that I pulled up. Thank you to my girl Dahlia for being great, beautiful, with her long, luscious red hair that I envy. And for suggesting this. So the site is called The 30. This article is called 24 Little Things You Can Do for Yourself and Others Right Now, published November 14th, 2020 by Sarah Yang. And I don't know if we'll have time to go through all 24, but basically we're going to go through this list. We're going to tell the people if it helps us, if it could help them just cope with the quarantine and get us out of that ugly little panorama alive. All right. So the first on the list is meditate.
Actually, well, okay. I didn't do meditation because of quarantine. I was actually doing it a little bit before, so because my friend wanted to do something, it's called the 21 Days of Abundance. It's just essentially you do these little activities every single day to make you aware of the good things in your life. And it really did help me in my own little ways. And I think meditation's great. Like, sit down, do some introspective thinking. It helps. I think so.
I just want to formally apologize in front of all these witnesses that you sent me that, and I stopped after, like, I think it was day 6 or 7. I don't know. I kept on forgetting about it, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, well this is like, I think it was day 6. I was like, this is day 4, 5 and today." And you're like, "Okay." And then after, I think I just dropped off. I was so unmotivated.
It's okay. It's absolutely okay. That's the process, right? No one's great at anything all at once. It's a process.
Personally, I think meditation will help people if you have a quiet mind. And I don't know how else to describe that, but like, if you're able to be alone and be okay for like more than 10 minutes, you can meditate and it can help you. But personally, I fucking hate meditation. I had to do it because I was raised in a Buddhist family and I could not do it. I would close my eyes, I would try to clear my mind for 2 minutes, and depression doesn't let you do that. So, no meditation for me, but I encourage it if it helps you.
PSA, don't use Headspace. It's not good. That's not a good meditation app.
I mean, I haven't used an app before, but so I used to do meditation just a bit in high school and a bit in uni, whenever my mind will allow me. And they always advertise meditation as like, oh, it's if your mind is busy, then you can meditate. But that's always something that's easier said than done. And like Mitchie said, it's hard to kind of keep it constantly when your mind is busy with so many other things. So if you can, it's extremely beneficial. It'll help you out. It'll help you see the positive things as well as the things inside yourself. But if you can't, there are other ways to kind of extend your energy and figure things out for yourself.
Mhm. Does Mari have anything to add, or shall we go to number 2?
I don't. I think my brain is just too jumpy all over the place, and I have no patience for meditation. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sorry.
Nah, I thought you were gonna say, when you started that, I thought you were saying your brain is jumpy right now. So I was gonna be like, so no meditation
No,
for Mari.
my brain is like kind of. I'm a little woozy from that vaccine today. Hello, but
Yeah,
we're good.
that's fair.
I'm a little slow right now.
Clear, none of us are anti-vax, and if you are, I don't know what the fuck to say to you, except
Goodbye.
my God, just stop it.
Do you want to die?
I just got my vaccine too, so if you're anti-vax, get the fuck out of this fucking podcast, bro. I don't even care this way.
I am so impatiently waiting my vaccine. So if y'all have the vaccine available to you and you're like, oh, well, I'm not gonna do that. Ugh.
You will help save so many people, including yourself and the people you love.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, before we get too wrapped up in that, we're going down the list. Number 2 is watch something that makes you laugh. I
don't know about makes me laugh, but I've really, I don't know, I guess everyone has their comfort shows or movies, and those have definitely helped me because I can like escape to this little familiar world that I love and that I don't know, makes me feel good inside kind of thing. So definitely like a comfort show, not necessarily funny, although some of them are. But I think that's definitely helped me because I don't know, I like that escapism kind of thing.
This might be the unpopular opinion, but I actually don't like watching comedy when I'm sad. I find it's like, if I'm in a bad mood and I'm watching these people, comedians or whatever, actors try to be funny, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm crying. Why am I watching some dude slip on a banana peel? Like, I can't. I can't do it. But that's just me. So that is, for me, not really. That doesn't really work for myself personally.
Feel like to jump off that, like there are some videos that I have saved on my Instagram that I can go back to when I'm sad and I want to cheer up and I want to laugh because they're just like they're that good or they're that cute. Let's be real. It's just like a bunch of dogs and cats doing weird things. But I do definitely relate to that when you say like, you know, when you're sad or you're down, a comedy or something to make you laugh isn't the first thing to go to. Personally, if I'm sad but I want to feel better, I will watch Bob's Burgers or The Office. But The Office has to be like certain episodes because The Office is also just like cringe humor half the time. But otherwise, I watch extra sad things. Like if I'm sad and I'm like, oh, eventually this feeling will pass, but right now I have to revel in my sadness. I watch I think it's either Japanese or Korean. I don't know which one because I can't remember it right now, but it is a movie called My Rainy Days. And if anyone looks this up, only watch it if you want to cry. That's my warning. Who is Mikan? If you have anything to add about watching something to make you laugh.
Yeah, sorry, it just started storming outside, so I just muted myself. Um, but I think it's on a continuum. If I'm just kind of a bit down in the dumps, a bit sad, then I can like go on YouTube and I'll watch like some comedy YouTubers or like it's like dark comedy YouTubers. So it's not like the banana slip, it's like haha, life sucks and they make a joke, that type of full comedy. Um, but if I'm really, really not feeling my best and I'm slipping really down that rabbit hole, then I probably watch like Michi and like Siren, something that's very depressing. For example, like all like the really depressing thriller horror animes. Just choose any of one of them, and that is my show. And I guess that's how it works for me. Otherwise, like I know some of us have like a companion pet. So like I have my cat. And honestly, just like watching her sleep peacefully is like something that gives me a bit of life in there because it's just like nice seeing that something like I love and care for is having such like a nice day in life.
Mm-hmm. That's so wholesome. All right. Number 3, which we might only have time for like 3, 4, and 5. But that's fine. Number 3 is stretch or work out.
Okay. I'm gonna be a hypocrite because I haven't worked out in very long. But stretching, yoga, any workout, doesn't even have to be intense, is so good for you. It really, really is. And I'm not talking about like crazy HIIT workouts, cardio, whatever. Like just very light stretches. A little bit of yoga can make your day feel so much better. Because you're moving your body, right? And there's something about, especially when you're in a state where say you're not feeling in control of yourself, right? Like you find your mental health is slipping and you're losing grasp on reality, right? Just moving your body reminds you that I have control. If anything, I have control of my body, and it kind of grounds you and it roots you. And then there's obviously like the the biological good parts to it, which is like endorphins, dopamine, all that great stuff. So when I say workout, doesn't even have to be a very long way. It could be 5 minutes, right? It could be 3 minutes. But just moving your body for a little bit of time can really help you.
Yeah, I am definitely not someone who works out. But I do go for walks, and I go with my dog, or the other day my brother and we took a hike in a forest, which is a whole other thing because nature definitely makes people feel better. Makes me feel better. But just going on a walk or even walking around like your house or wherever you live kind of thing, just getting out of being in one spot, I think even that can just help clear your head, get your heart a little bit moving, and I don't know, it's good because it like relaxes your muscles, gets everything going, and I find that I do feel better if I just take a walk or even just step outside for a little bit. Like, yeah.
I'm a bit on the hypocritical side too. So although I know the research behind yoga and that it's like amazing, it's really beneficial, everything Siren said, I never do it. Um, so if you want something beneficial, go for it. But I'm similar to what we discussed before. I can't stay still for too long, so I can't do yoga where you have to keep a pose for long enough and just keep quiet. I just start laughing. I can't. It's just a hilarious atmosphere when you have like 12 people in a room with like stretchy tight clothing, and all of them are like serious, like dead serious, and there's like meditation music playing, and like I just suddenly turn my like head slowly to someone else, and I just start bursting in laughter. But again, that's probably just me. But for workouts, like I mentioned before, I did it for a week. I felt so energetic, rejuvenated, and then I gave up. And that's just the ups and downs.
It's definitely it's something that you gotta practice and get into the routine of doing. Personally, if anyone needs a little bit of motivation, my motivation is that I don't want to be 25 and literally clutching my waist as I walk up the stairs, because I do that sometimes now. And it worries me because I'm like, oh, I'm so old, my body's so broken. And then I remember that I am not even in my 40s, 50s, 60s. I consider old, and I mean this in the best way possible, to be like 70s and up. And I keep on saying that I'm old when I'm not, because my body just hurts all the time. And I know that like if I just stretched out or worked out a little bit, because the aim is to be healthy and as fit as possible, or that you are comfortable with, because you just want to like make sure that your body's not broken. That's literally what it is.
I validate that 1,000%. I am physically an ancient individual and mentally as well, actually. I'll take both.
Mm-hmm. So we have like a couple minutes left. Let's do number 4 and then we can close out. Number 4 is ooh la la. Open that nice bottle of wine.
Yes. Well, not always. It depends on like how my mental state is that day. If I'm like not having the greatest day and I drink something, then I'm not gonna be having a great night. I'll be kind of miserable and quiet. But if I'm in a good mood, oh my God. Especially if we have a call and we're doing like games and stuff, those are like the best nights. But I have to be in a good mood.
Yeah, for sure. I want to put a PSA out there that like if you're sad and you know that drinking will just make it worse, please don't. Please take care of yourselves and your mental health, and just you in general, because I love you all. But if you're like, okay, it's been kind of a stressful time and I just like I want to chill, I want to relax, I want to put on a movie, I want to talk to friends, have a wine night, fucking do it. Get in your bathtub with a glass of wine and some bubbles. That shit is wow. Like, yeah, I hadn't taken a bath in like maybe 3 years, and I finally took one when quarantine was starting, and it was just beautiful. Yes, with my rosé, amazing.
In my head, I interpreted that as like you never cleaned yourself in 3 years. Like, you
Yeah, I was
haven't had a
about to say.
bath.
Nah, I'm like a big shower person. I like
Yeah.
baths to relax, but I don't think I could ever take a bath to like clean myself. Like I know
Mhm.
people do, and like you're as clean or more clean than I am, but I just like I don't know. I whenever I'm in a bath, I don't want to scrub myself. I just want to lie down and like go to sleep.
You see, if the point was weed, I'd say hell yeah, fuck yeah. But I'm not an alcohol person. I do not like in the moment, yeah, I feel bubbly and nice, but afterward, I just feel absolutely disgusting.
Mhm.
So personally for myself, no, it's not a good thing. But to each their own. Obviously, take care of yourself. Don't do anything, that's gonna hurt you in the end. But weed, little edibles, that's my best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's valid. Like I'm pretty much like a as long as it's not being injected into me, I am okay. Like aside from vaccines, don't inject me.
I was gonna
But,
say,
like-
unless it's a vaccine, then inject.
Yeah. It's like other than vaccines, don't inject me because like if I'm at a party or something, which can't happen now, but if I'm at a party, I'll experiment with drugs if it's a safe environment or whatnot. Moderation, safety is key. Being healthy is key. But when it comes to like alcohol and stuff, again, moderation. I think if I just want a chill night, I'll have a glass of wine or a mixed drink with like 2 shots of vodka and some lemonade. That's fine. But definitely know your limits and understand when to stop, especially with the point of not wanting to feel gross. Obviously some nights I'll get drunk and I'll be hungover and I'm like, ugh, worth it. But some nights it's not worth it. Some days you want to wake up the next morning feeling refreshed. So you got like a tiny glass and then you drink water after or juice because I fucking hate water. But yeah, take care of yourself. Moderation, that's key.
But also drink
Um,
water too.
everyone that likes water drink water. Everyone that doesn't like water, I don't know. I drink water, but I add lemons and I make it into tea because I don't know, the taste of water is disgusting
Still
to
water, and that's what matters. Stay hydrated.
me. All right. So we are, I believe, like 3 minutes over an hour. We're trying to keep these episodes to an hour or less, but totally fine if we're going over. I do think it's time to wrap up though. So if you guys want to throw in some last comments, some quarantine advices, I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, once again, thank you for letting us be part of this, the part of your podcast. Quarantine advice, dude. You know what? This is literally the probably one of the worst experiences you'll have in your life. So indulge a bit. Eat that extra fucking chocolate. I need to stop swearing so much. Have an extra bag of chips. You know what? Take 10 more minutes to nap. It's okay if you go late to work. It's a terrible time. Be a little, easier on yourself. That's my
Self-care.
advice. Self-care. Yeah, self-care. Super important.
Yes. Self-care. Sleep for 14 hours. Let's go, people. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Also wear your mask. Follow distancing guidelines. If you can get a vaccine, get your vaccine and still wear a mask even afterwards because you can still spread it. And stay safe and give someone that is in your bubble a nice big hug and pet a dog.
Don't forget
I like
to
that.
follow Little Dagger Aesthetics on Instagram. Subscribe to her YouTube channel.
Bro, that is what it is though. I am literally
Subscribe to TikTok.
revamping my
TikTok
entire
too, yep.
Instagram feed. So like if y'all want some beautiful graphics to be on your feed, follow the Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow my TikTok, even add my main Instagram. You know, I could use some followers. I would follow you back as long as you're a nice person. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. So sorry that we took more than an hour of your precious time. And look forward to the next episode, which is going to be an Instagram relationship Q&A. So basically, my boyfriend has agreed to answer every question with me that people send in to my Instagram, and for my friends that don't have Instagram, I'm gonna put it into other places that I can reach you. And you can ask anything. Nothing is off topic, nothing is off limits. It's just ask us anything about our relationship, how we view relationships, what are the trials and tribulations of whatever, literally anything. You can literally ask me, I don't know, what is my favorite thing about the relationship, and I will say nothing. I'm just kidding. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Hope you tune in next time. Insert wind chimes here. Ding, bring, bring.